Welcome, everyone. This is Edna White. I am so glad you're with me today. Today, I welcome you to Idea to Income. And this is about grant writing basics for nonprofits. So, I know if you know me, if you've been on my channel, you know that I'm always seeking opportunities on how to um, increase your entrepreneurship. I have in the past worked with people in healthcare and also as in real estate, but now I help people from the inside out as a life coach and trainer. Now, why am I before you today? I am before you today because in my dealings, in my volunteerism in the community, and also in my own stance working with my clients, I find that a lot of people do not know about grant writing basics. They think that they're deserving of a grant because they exist. And today, I'm excited that you're here because today we're going to be taking the mystery out of grant writing. Whether you're new to this or you just need help getting organized, this is the part that's organized, okay? You're in the right place. By the end of the session, you'll have a foundation and a clear starting point for finding and applying for grants. So let me just tell you, if you're a solopreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're doing this by yourself, it is a great, great piece of advice to get someone to help you do this. A grant writing expert, an assistant, an intern, someone to help you do this. Okay? So let's break the ice a little bit here. Think about your nonprofit or your community project. What's one problem you'd love to solve if you had the funding? So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to write this down and know what you're going to do. So 30 seconds, and share in the chat if you'd like, or the person next to you, I guess. No person next to you, just in the chat box if you come up with something. Okay. All right. So now that you have decided what's the problem you'd love to solve, this is the basis of your entire nonprofit. The problem that you're going to solve is the basis of your entire mission. Okay? So keep that in mind as we move forward. Okay, so again, I welcomed you already. We are here to get the basics. To get the basics on writing a grant, what we need from the idea to get to the income part. So we are going to be working on that today. You're going to be so well organized. You're going to know what you need moving forward and what grants they are, what types of grants, so that you can be able to be prepared. Again, know the answer to the question, what's the one problem you'd love to solve with this grant? So what is grant writing exactly? Grant writing is simply the process of telling a compelling story about the work you're doing and asking for the funding to keep it going and to keep doing it. You don't need to be a professional writer. You just need to be clear and honest about the impact you're going to make. Simple as that. Okay? So the purpose of a grant is to secure funds to support your nonprofit's mission. And if you do not have a mission, you do not have a nonprofit. You have a status, but you do not have a mission. You have to have a mission, whether it's local, national, whatever it is, statewide, whatever it is, you should have a mission. Now, here are the myths, the common myths that I've heard from my clients about grants. Grants are free money. They come with accountability, guys. They come with accountability. They come with honesty. It is free money, but you have to give them something to hang their hats on that make this free to you. You have to be big to get grants. Not everyone has to be a big organization. You can be someone with just one person in a nonprofit. Small and new organizations win grants too. One grant can fund everything. That's the myth. Most grants fund specific parts of your work. Remember that. One grant does not fund everything. It may be able to only fund a specific part of your work. So you have to understand that. Get those three myths out of your thought pattern, okay? Get it out of you, what you're thinking, out of what you're going to be doing. Get it out. Now, I'm going to ask you to do a little mini exercise. I want you to take 3 minutes to reflect and journal. Why do you want a grant? And what would it help you do? You don't need to share it, but you need to write it down for yourself. So take 3 minutes, and I'm going to give you that 3 minutes to write it down. Remember, take 3 minutes to reflect and journal. Why do you want a grant? What would it help you do? Three minutes. You now have 2 minutes. One minute. Okay. Okay. So now that you have a great idea of what you need the grant for, now that you have an idea about that, I've given you those 3 minutes on and to just figure out what the grant is for and what you're going to use it for. Now that you have a little bit more assembling of like now moving forward, right? So let's gather the idea. What are you trying to fund? Okay? So before we go chasing money, we have to be crystal clear on what we're asking for. Funders want to know what's the issue, who you are helping, and what's the change you're working toward. Those 3 things they want to know. What's the issue, who you are helping, and what's the change you're working toward. Now, what I'm going to do is give you an exercise for 2 minutes, okay? And what I'm going to do is I want you to grab the worksheet that I sent you, but I have it up here. So grab your worksheet or a notepad and fill in this sentence. My nonprofit exists to blank, by blank, for blank. Now I want you to take 2 minutes to fill in those blanks, because again, this is so very important. Gathering the idea, what you're trying to fund. Answer the question, fill in the blank. My nonprofit exists by blank for blank. Here we go. 2 minutes. One minute. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. So now that you filled in the blanks, my nonprofit exists blank by blank for blank. Okay, so now that you know you're defining your project, right? We're now going to step towards exploring funding sources. So how do we do that? I want you to know not all grants come from the same place. So what we're going to talk about is where money comes from and what kind of grants might be the best fit for your work. I know for my work, private grants are very important. Sponsorships are very important, okay? And donations are very important. All of those financial pieces are very important for your nonprofit. So you have to be able to recognize where you fit in that category or in those categories, if not all. So let's break down the sources. Number 1, federal grants. Those are the big dollars, but highly competitive and structured, meaning that the federal grants are going to want lots more documentation. They may even want you to put up part of the money and then get it back after the grant is issued. So they have stipulations, even though it may be big dollars like 150 and above grant size, federal grant size for bigger projects. It's highly competitive and it's structured. So you have to have everything in order with the federal grants. Number two, state grants may be more targeted to your type of work. So it may be targeted because states usually do a canvas of the area of what each of the organizations may need. Each of the each of the states may need. So they may know that in the state they may need certain things, and then they issue an RFQ, an RFP to get the word out that this grant is available. So it may be more targeted to your type of work. Number three, local grants. Great for grassroots or community-focused efforts. These local grants are great for organizations like myself that really work with the community, those in the community, or grassroots, or focus on the community and the efforts to, maybe help with reading, maybe help with math, maybe help another organization do another piece that they need. But it's always good to look at the local grants because those are always issued in the state, in a county level. Okay. Number four is private foundations. These are often mission-driven and specific in who they fund. Okay, those are private. And then you have like private, meaning private foundations, like I don't know not all the names, but they have the word foundation after them, pretty much. Okay, and then there's the last one is corporate foundations and grants. Now, corporate could be locally in your area. It could be like maybe Jake 58, or maybe TD Bank, maybe a bank, a State Farm, something like that. Those are corporate foundation grants. Those are businesses funding work that aligns with their values and their brand. Okay, so those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of grants. Okay. So, what type of grant do you think that your business fits in, if not all? Take a couple of seconds and just put a star next to the ones that you think you are prepared for today. If you were to do it today, put a star next to it. Which one would you be qualified for? And then put a triangle next to the ones that long term, maybe next year or at the end of the year, put a triangle next to it. Okay. Excellent, 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 excellent. All right. Let's move along. Okay. So now we're going to be talking about, this is the match grant that I was telling you about. The match grant simply is that the person may want you to, or the foundation may want you to give according to the match. So I think I explained that already. So I'm sorry, I got off task with the steps. Okay, so there are 3 steps to turn your ideas into the proposals. There's 3 steps. So we're going to go over the steps, and we're going to literally get you prepared to present this, to put this proposal together. So step 1 is to define the problem and the solution. Define what your organization is going to do, what the issues that you're going to address, or the issue 1, or issues 2, 3, right? And then what specific solutions do you offer? What are your solutions to? And then the last and final thing is why now? So I'm going to give you about a minute to figure that out. And it starts now. All right. So that was step one. Now we are step two. Set clear outcomes. Set the clear goal and the outcome. What will you change as a result of this project? You see, funders want to see measurable results. So use your SMART goals. Be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Meaning, or you know what they all are. Have a time constriction. You can't have it forever. It could be for maybe 30 days, maybe 90 days, maybe a year, maybe 6 months. However it is, it has to have a time period, okay? Make it relevant to what's happening in the marketplace today. Make it achievable. Just don't set a goal. Okay, we're going to make everybody mentally well in 30 days. Not achievable. Maybe a step could be we're going to help those that attend this group session to be able to recognize the thing that's holding them back and then have a way for them to address it and change their behavior. That's achievable. Measurable, meaning that you can measure it. How do you measure it? You measure it by maybe finding out from the person themselves, or maybe taking a poll, or maybe taking a survey. And then being specific. I can't express so as much as possible to be specific. Define what success looks like to you from this project. Quantify your impact if possible, if you can do it. Step 3, structure the proposal. Think of this like a story. There's the intro, the problem, then the plan, the timeline, the budget, the impact. Okay? Intro, problem, plan, timeline, budget, impact. Boom, done. So think about that. So intro, executive summary. Problem statement. Plan, goals and objectives. Timeline, budget, and timeline, budget, and timeline. Impact, evaluation plan. That's it. That's what they are. They may seem difficult or tedious the way they are on the screen, but if you think of them as intro, problem, plan, timeline, budget, impact, you've got it down pat. Okay, so yes, let's use this template to draft a quick 1-paragraph project summary. Here we go. So here's a template. Our project aims to blank, which is a goal, by blank to support blank and in blank. I'm going to give you 5 minutes writing time on this. Ready, set, go. 3 minutes. Okay, I think I gave you more than 5 minutes. So now what I'm going to do, now that you have that written down, I want you to keep all this together because this is a lot of work that you're gonna need. Okay, so now that we chatted about your project and what your project is going to do, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared before you apply. Before you submit any documentation, anything at all, or think that you're going to go and you're going to submit something to anybody else. Make sure your paperwork is in order. Many grants require documentation up front. So here are the important paperwork before applying. You're going to need a 501c3 determination letter. So I don't think I have mine out here. Oh, but I do. I have it in a book. Yeah, you're going to need that. You're going to need your EIN number, which is the number that was given to you either by phone or by mail, that was given to you to open your bank account up. That's your EIN number. You're going to need your vision and your mission and your vision statement, which I add in there capability statement. You're going to need your budget and your financial statements. So your budget is for the event. It's not for your entire organization. It's for that particular event. And your financial statements. Okay? You're going to need a list of all the board members. And then the letters of support or partnerships. So you're going to need at least 2 to 3 of those letters of support or partnership. You're going to need those, which are very important because you can't do anything with any grant, even the private grants. You're going to need some type of proof. Even when you apply for donations, in kind donations, donations from maybe food for food, different types of foods, restaurants, you're going to need a 501c3 determination letter. That's the letter that's going to show them that you're a 501c3 and they can donate to you and get a receipt for it. Okay? So now that this is the checklist. I want you now to check off what you have. And then for anything missing, write down who you need to talk to or what action step to take to get the documentation. Okay, so now you've taken the huge step for today, a huge step forward for today. Grant writing takes time and strategy, but once you understand the process, you can build a repeatable system. Now, the next steps that you're going to have to do is really, if you are by yourself, if you are doing this yourself, that you're a single person nonprofit, right? You must hire or get someone who can volunteer wise, train them. If you know how to do it, train someone that can work with you, along with you, because you're going to need more than just one grant. You're going to need more than just one donation, more than just one sponsor. You're going to need all of that and more. You're going to need that funding, all streams of funding for your project. So I implore you, please, 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 please get support. Get someone who can support you. Now, this is the part that I feel that a lot of people do not get done first, right? They don't have these things so that they can go on to the next step. I'm a great proponent of knowing where I'm going and how to get there. And I guess most people think, oh, well, if I get a grant, I'm going to help write this whole thing through. Not going to be not that easy, because you're going to have to know where you're going before you can get there. The idea is great, but where you're going with this idea, what you're going to do with it, who you're going to serve, how many you're going to serve, what's the outcome, and how's the impact, what it's going to change. Those are the things that you're really going to have to get together first. Now, this has been a quick review because not many of you have given me any questions. But however, the next steps, what I can offer you is a one-on-one session to follow up, right? Um, I can help you follow up and help you to figure out what you need to do, right? What you need to do as far as moving forward, who you need to see, if you need any of those important documents that are sitting there, any of those letters, well, who do you need to speak to and how do you get them? All right, that's one thing that I could offer you today because you were here with me today. All you have to do is reach out in the comment section and I'll be glad to work with you. All right. So I can follow up with any of you that have attended this workshop. I can follow up with you. All you have to do is send me a comment in the comment section or email me at secondchanceincorp@gmail.com. Now, the second thing that I can offer you is do it yourself. I can create a strategy plan for you, suss out who you need to, where the grants are. I can suss out the grants that you need, at least 10 of them. And I'll give you the information, all the information, the name, the link, and everything that you can apply yourself. That's your do yourself. That's how I can support you. I can also do it with you. I can create the plan, strategy plan, then give you the list and help you, walk you through each one. Or I can do it for you, which my team and I are set up that we can pull those grants every month for you, 10 grants, help and apply for you for them, and then send you the results each month on who we submitted things to. So that's what I can really offer you. Make sure you reflect on all these lists that of the required documents. What are you missing? Reflect on your action steps. You need to have some action steps to which way you're going to go now. Now what? Now that I know that I don't have all these documents, that I'm not ready, now what do I do? Well, the next step would be to get all those documents, to get prepared, to have a clear focus on your mission, on what you're doing, to have a capability statement, to know what your impact is going to be, how you're going to solve all those problems and those questions. Make sure that everything you wrote down, that you're going to be able to go through them and get them, right? Because you cannot move forward without them, without being clear. Okay, so make sure you have your next steps. All right, so like I said, I have a done for you DIFY, and that's $300 a month, and we handle it all. We focus on your mission. We'll help you create your mission. We will curate 30 grants pulled monthly based on your nonprofit's focus. We will help you write and submit the application on your behalf. We'll include proposals, tailoring and requiring attachments. We will give you a monthly report with submission, status, and next steps. And email support is included. The Do It With You program is $175. Okay? You're not alone. We help you. We guide you through it with 30 tailored grants pulled monthly. We walk you through 1 to 2 of them, teaching you how to do it yourself. And then we help you. We give you the grant writing templates with the sample answers provided. And we do 1 live strategy call per month to help you around this. We review all your proposals, one proposal per month before you submit it. And you do have email support for questions. And the last one is do it yourself. It's $97. You take the lead. We hand you the bat. 30 customized grant opportunities pulled monthly. We basic guidance documents for organizing your submissions and no writing or submission support included. That's $97 a month. And like I said, if you want these services, because you came to us and you came today, just email me, call me, text me. My email again is second chance incorp @gmail.com, or you can comment in the sections below this video, and I will answer your comment and get back to you. Thank you so much for attending today. I hope that you received some great information that can get you moving forward with your nonprofit. Bye for now. This is Edna White of Second Chance Incorporated.